Welcome to today's explainer. If you're currently pulling your hair out trying to balance your salinity, chasing that absolutely perfect lighting spectrum, or just, staring at a coral trying to figure out why on earth it won't open up, well, you are in the right place. Today, we're breaking down a really great source from Saltwater Reef Co. on exactly how Chicago reef hobbyists can build their local community. We're going to take their comprehensive guide and distill it into a roadmap so you can stop guessing and actually start thriving. Okay, let's dive into this. Are you reefing alone? Look, maintaining a delicate, highly sensitive saltwater ecosystem right in your living room is incredibly high stakes. We're talking about living animals, precise chemical balances, and let's be real, a pretty significant chunk of change. Trying to juggle all of that entirely by yourself, it can be intensely stressful and honestly super isolating. When something goes sideways in your tank at 10 p.m. on a Tuesday, trying to troubleshoot it through random forum searches, it kind of feels like defusing a bomb in the dark. But here's the thing. You do not have to do it alone. There's a really stark contrast between the two paths you can take in this hobby. Solo reefing, it so often leads to those classic, costly pitfalls. Things like rushing the nitrogen cycle, mostly because you didn't have a veteran reefer standing there telling you to just be patient, or battling those crazy, unpredictable salinity swings that can absolutely crash your whole system. But then there's community reefing, and this is where the magic happens. You find incredible new coral frags, you swap ideas on gear, and you get reliable advice that's actually tested in your local area. Getting plugged into the network literally saves you time, money, and a whole lot of heartache. So here is our roadmap for today's explainer. We're going to hit 5 key areas. First, stores and reef clubs. 2, regional societies. 3, connecting fandoms online. 4, the frag swap culture. And finally, number 5, maximizing your connections. Section 1, stores and reef clubs. Let's move to and see how this builds, starting with the most accessible physical hubs right in your neighborhood. Your local specialty aquarium store is so much more than just a place to grab some salt mix or frozen mysis shrimp. The source points out that these retail spaces actually serve as vital, informal hubs where hobbyists just hang out and trade recommendations. But you really have to know what to look for, specifically community cues. Are the staff actively discussing long-term water stability with customers? Do you spot a customer bulletin board? Does the shop host regular frag drops? If you're seeing those cues, you haven't just found a store. You've struck gold. You found a real community hub. Once you've pinned down the right stores, your very next step should be the local club. Joining a local reefing club chapter is hands down the fastest path to building deeper connections. Why? Well, because you're seeing the same faces over and over again. These clubs help you dodge those major beginner and intermediate pitfalls. You get experienced members who can actually look at your setup or even come over for a tank tour and tell you straight up, hey, that livestock, totally incompatible with your current flow. Plus, they host speaker nights that will accelerate your learning curve way faster than just scrolling through articles alone. Section 2, regional societies. Let's zoom out a bit and look at the broader ecosystem where the hobby opens up even further. Now, you might be thinking, well, I only do saltwater reefs. Why on earth would I join a general aquarium society? But the source makes a brilliant point here. Even the non-exclusive general aquarium groups attract a massive number of reef hobbyists. These broader societies usually have the budget to bring in incredible saltwater-friendly speakers, host vendor meet and greets, and run big competitions. Even better, checking their local event calendars is the absolute best way to score reputable used gear, and let's face it, your wallet will thank you for that. Plus, you get those coveted early RSVPs for seasonal swaps, letting you plan your whole tank care schedule around them. Moving right along to Section 3, connecting fandoms online. Let's see how these digital spaces actually bridge the geographical gaps for busy Chicago area reefers. When you're navigating online groups, there's one absolutely crucial concept you should always be looking out for, and that's husbandry. It's the careful, day-to-day management of your tank's entire environment. And this brilliantly illustrates why you need to be picky online. When you're searching for Chicago area Facebook groups or forums, don't just jump into the ones posting pretty pictures of glowing corals. You really want to join the groups that are heavily focused on husbandry. When members are openly debating flow patterns or how to maintain pinpoint temperature stability, that builds trust rapidly. You instantly know these folks are serious, and their advice is rooted in actual science and hands-on experience. Think of online platforms as your logistical lifelines. You want to use these digital spaces specifically to coordinate practical advice and, this is a big one, local pickup times. Because transporting a super delicate coral frag or a stressed out finicky fish across Chicago traffic, yeah, that requires some serious planning. The absolute best online groups act as coordination hubs to make sure you have safe, efficient equipment handoffs and livestock trades right there in your neck of the woods. Section 4, the frag swap culture. It is time to build some excitement for the absolute climax of the local hobbyist journey. Now, what's really interesting about this quote is how perfectly the Saltwater Reef Coast source sums it up. Frags, swaps, and equipment exchanges are community gold. That right there defines the ultimate destination for a Chicago reefer. This isn't just about buying and selling. It is literally the lifeblood of the culture. It's that perfect moment where the digital and physical worlds of reefing collide in the best way possible. So, what exactly is a frag swap? Well, they're basically these awesome, low-pressure events where hobbyists gather to trade. But here is the secret sauce. It is not just about what you take home in a plastic bag at the end of the day. It's about learning what is actually thriving in your specific local environment. When you go to these swaps, you learn exactly which feeding strategies, which acclimation routines, and which quarantine protocols are actually working for the water supply and climate right there in your region. Plus, you get to see firsthand which vendors are truly transparent about their care requirements. Section 5. Maximizing your connections. We've covered exactly where to go, but how do you actually engage when you get there? Let's look at the rules of engagement. So the crucial point is, whether you're at a local store, a club meetup, or a massive frag swap, you really need a checklist to form those productive, long-lasting relationships. First off, always bring your tank basics. You need to know your tank's size, age, lighting, and parameters right off the top of your head. Second, ask targeted questions. Don't just ask for generic advice, ask about specific stability routines. Third, share what you've already tried. People absolutely love helping someone who is actively trying to troubleshoot a problem. And finally, show some respect for the hobby by using safe handling and consistent temperature control when you're transporting livestock. Show others that you truly care, and I promise you, they will share their best-kept secrets with you. Which brings us to our final and maybe most important thought. How will you connect with the Chicago reefing community today? Because building these connections isn't just about scoring cheap coral. It's the literal difference between having a thriving miniature ocean in your home and staring at a frustrating, expensive glass box. So take action today. Ask yourself, if your tank crashed tonight, who would you call? Do not wait until disaster strikes to build your safety net. Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer, and happy reefing.